For decades, people have whispered about hidden Nazi gold buried somewhere in Europe, but no one ever imagined this. Deep underground, explorers have uncovered a secret vault sealed since World War II, and what they found inside left even historians stunned. Gold bars, mysterious crates, and objects never seen before tell a story darker than anyone expected. This isn't just another legend, it's the discovery that's rewriting history. The legend that refused to die. For as long as people can remember, stories of lost Nazi gold have captured imaginations all over the world. They are the kind of tales that sound too dramatic to be real, yet too believable to ignore. During World War II, Hitler's regime looted treasures from every country they invaded. Gold, jewels, priceless artworks, and entire bank reserves disappeared as the Nazi army swept through Europe. Some of these treasures were recovered after the war, but many never resurfaced. As Germany faced defeat in 1945, panic set in among Nazi leaders. They knew the Allies were closing in, and so they began hiding the stolen riches. Gold bars were packed into crates, jewels were sealed inside ammunition boxes, and paintings were rolled up and placed in underground vaults. Trains, tunnels, salt mines, even mountain caves were used to conceal their stolen wealth. No one knew how much was buried or where it was hidden. When the war ended, the Allies found some of these secret stashes. American soldiers discovered rooms filled with gold and art deep inside salt mines. Yet even after these finds, large portions of the Nazi fortune remained missing. Over the decades, rumors grew. Treasure hunters believed there were still hidden hoards waiting to be discovered. The idea that vast riches could still be lying untouched somewhere beneath Europe's soil was too powerful to resist. But for many decades, no real proof ever surfaced. Most searches ended with disappointment, and the legend remained just that, a legend. Until one day, something extraordinary happened. In early 2023, the quiet halls of the Dutch National Archive became the center of worldwide attention. Historians were going through old war records when they came across a long-forgotten document from 1944. It wasn't just any document. It was a hand-drawn map with a bold red X marked near a small Dutch village called Amerin. The map was labeled in German and mentioned valuables buried during the war. Within days of its release, it made global headlines. For the first time in years, it seemed that the legend of Nazi gold might finally lead to something real. But what exactly did that mysterious map reveal? And how did it change everything? Stay with us to know. The treasure map that changed everything. The map's details matched reports from the end of the war. In September 1944, German paratroopers had been fighting British forces in the city of Arnhem when a bank was hit by an explosion. Gold coins, jewelry, and other valuables spilled onto the streets. Seizing the opportunity, some German soldiers quickly gathered what they could, filling ammunition boxes with treasure before retreating. According to military records, these soldiers buried their loot near Amerin, hoping to recover it later when the chaos of war ended. One of them, a man named Helmut Sonder, was captured after the war and questioned by Dutch authorities. He confirmed that he and his fellow soldiers had hidden the treasure south of the village. The Dutch police even brought him back to the site in hopes of finding it. They dug for days, but nothing turned up. Eventually, the search was abandoned and the location faded into obscurity. When the map resurfaced nearly 80 years later, it reignited that forgotten mystery. People were fascinated by how detailed it was. It even included the depth at which the boxes were supposedly buried and landmarks that still existed today. Treasure hunters arrived in Amerin with metal detectors, shovels, and high hopes. Locals watched as small teams of diggers began exploring the fields and forest surrounding their peaceful village. However, the excitement quickly turned into chaos. The Dutch government had to step in and restrict digging in certain areas. Officials warned that parts of the site were former battlefields, still littered with unexploded bombs and dangerous war debris. Despite these warnings, many people refused to give up. For them, this wasn't just about treasure, it was about solving a mystery that had haunted Europe for generations. Experts examined the authenticity of the map and found no signs of forgery. That gave the story even more credibility. Unlike the fake leads that had surfaced over the years, this map had come directly from government archives. Historians and archaeologists began to study it carefully, hoping to pinpoint the exact burial spot. Some believed that the treasure might have already been secretly recovered long ago, while others were convinced it was still there, waiting beneath the Dutch soil. News channels, historians, and amateur explorers all shared one thought. If this map was real, then the legend of the lost Nazi gold was no longer a myth. It was a real historical puzzle that might finally be solved. Yet while treasure hunters dug in the Dutch countryside, another legend, one much bigger and far more dramatic, was about to draw the world's attention. It was the tale of a missing train said to be carrying tons of Nazi gold that vanished without a trace. The vanishing train of Poland. Among all the stories of lost Nazi treasure, none has stirred more excitement and debate than the legend of the Nazi gold train. It is a tale that sounds like it belongs in a movie, an armored train loaded with gold, artwork, and stolen riches disappearing into the mountains of Poland as the Third Reich collapsed. For decades, people have searched for it, yet no one has ever proved it exists. Still, the mystery refuses to die in early boy. 1945, as Soviet forces closed in on the city of Breslau, now known as Wrocław, Nazi officials were desperate to protect the immense wealth they had plundered from across Europe. According to witnesses, a heavily guarded train filled with gold, silver, jewelry, and valuable art left Breslau under strict orders to reach a safe location deeper inside German-controlled territory. The train never arrived. Many believe it was sealed inside a secret tunnel somewhere near the town of Wałbrzych in southwestern Poland. For years, locals passed down stories about the train. Some claimed to have seen it enter a tunnel and never come out. Others said they heard explosions as the Nazis destroyed the entrance to hide it forever. These tales remained just folklore until 2015, when two treasure hunters, Piotr Koper and Andrzej Richter, made a stunning announcement. They claimed to have found the train using ground-penetrating radar. Their scans showed what appeared to be a massive metal object buried deep underground, roughly the same size and shape as a train. The discovery made international news. Reporters, historians, and adventurers flocked to Wałbrzych, eager to see what could be one of the greatest finds in modern history. The Polish government even joined the investigation. The deputy culture minister at the time said he was 99% sure the train existed. Soon, excavation began under heavy security and global attention, but after weeks of digging, the excitement faded. There was no train, no gold, not even a tunnel entrance. The supposed radar image had been misinterpreted. What looked like a man-made structure turned out to be a natural rock formation. The dream of uncovering the legendary Nazi gold train vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Still, many refused to believe the story was over. Treasure hunters argued that the real train might be hidden elsewhere, deeper underground, or sealed behind tunnels no one had yet discovered. Their theory was strengthened by the fact that the area is riddled with underground complexes built by the Nazis in the final years of the war. These tunnels, known collectively as Project Riese, stretch for miles beneath the Sudeten Mountains. Some remain unexplored to this day. If the Nazi gold train ever existed, experts say it could be hidden within those tunnels, sealed away in darkness for 80 years. The mystery has inspired documentaries, books, and countless expeditions, all chasing the same dream, finding the train that vanished without a trace. But what exactly are those secret tunnels beneath the mountains? Who built them, and what were they really meant to hide? Beneath the mountains. Project Riese. Hidden deep in the Owl Mountains of southwestern Poland lies a network of tunnels and underground chambers known as Project Riese. To this day, no one fully knows why it was built or what secrets still lie buried within its dark passages. Some call it an unfinished military complex. Others believe it was a secret hideout for Hitler himself. But many think it may have been something else entirely, a place to store unimaginable treasures stolen during the war. Construction began in 1943 when Nazi Germany was losing control of the war. Hitler ordered massive underground facilities to protect key operations from Allied bombings. The Riese tunnels were carved into solid rock using thousands of forced laborers, many of them prisoners from concentration camps. They worked under brutal conditions, with little food and constant exhaustion. Many died before the project was even halfway complete. Despite the enormous effort, Project Riese was never finished. Allied forces advanced faster than expected, and the Nazis were forced to abandon their work. What they left behind was a maze of incomplete tunnels stretching for miles beneath the mountains. Some of the entrances were sealed off after the war, while others collapsed over time, leaving only fragments of what was once a vast underground complex. Over the years, explorers and researchers have tried to uncover the truth about Project Riese. Some historians believe it was meant to be an underground headquarters for Hitler and the Nazi leadership. Others think it was designed to house secret weapons factories. But the lack of official records has led many to suspect something far more mysterious. Why were the tunnels built so deep and wide if they were never going to be used? Why did the Nazis guard the site so fiercely during construction? Adding to the mystery are rumors that valuable art, gold, and documents were hidden inside before the tunnels were sealed. Locals who lived near the site have told stories of convoys arriving late at night, guarded by SS officers carrying crates that disappeared underground. After the war, Soviet forces explored the tunnels, but never released detailed reports of what they found. Some say the Soviets discovered something and quietly removed it. Others insist that they, too, left empty-handed. Today, portions of Project Riese are open to visitors, while other sections remain off-limits due to instability and safety risks. The tunnels are damp and silent, lined with rusting rails and broken machinery. Standing inside them, it's easy to feel the weight of history pressing in from every side. You can't help but wonder if these dark chambers once held something extraordinary, perhaps even part of the missing Nazi gold that continues to haunt Europe's imagination. Even now, professional teams use radar scans and drones to map unexplored parts of the network. Every few years, new discoveries are made, another sealed passage, another hidden chamber, but the greatest mystery of all remains unanswered. What exactly did the Nazis intend for Project Riese? While many still search the tunnels beneath the mountains, another discovery made in the final weeks of the war would prove that some Nazi treasure wasn't just legend. It was real, and it was found deep underground in a salt mine. The Merkers Miracle. In April 1945, just weeks before the war in Europe ended, American soldiers made one of the most remarkable discoveries of the entire conflict. Deep beneath the small German village of Merkers, they found a treasure so vast it almost defied belief. Inside a salt mine lay tons of Nazi gold, stolen currency, and priceless works of art that had been hidden away in the final desperate months of the war. It began when local residents told U.S. soldiers about mysterious truck convoys that had arrived at the Kaiserroda salt mine shortly before American forces reached the area. They claimed the trucks had been heavily guarded and unloaded at night, disappearing into the mine's tunnels. Acting on the tip, U.S. military intelligence sent a team to investigate. What they found would soon make headlines around the world. As soldiers descended into the dimly lit mine shafts, the air grew colder and the silence heavier. Then, their flashlights caught the glimmer of gold. Stacked neatly in wooden crates and canvas bags were thousands of bars of gold bullion. There were also sacks overflowing with gold coins, boxes of silver, and piles of foreign currency. In total, the cache contained over 8,000 gold bars, 3,000 bags of coins, and billions of dollars worth of money looted from across Europe. Among the discoveries were treasures belonging to the Reichsbank, Germany's central bank, which had been moved from Berlin to keep it safe from Allied bombing. The soldiers also found bags filled with gold fillings and jewelry taken from victims of concentration camps, a grim reminder of the human cost behind the riches. In another chamber, they uncovered priceless artworks that had been stolen from museums, private collections, and cathedrals. Photographs taken by the U.S. Army show soldiers standing among piles of gold bars and paintings, proof that the Nazi plunder was real and far larger than anyone had imagined. The discovery was quickly reported to the Allied command, and within days, trucks were sent to secure and transport the treasure to Frankfurt for safekeeping. Much of it was later returned to its rightful owners or used to compensate countries devastated by the war. The Merkers discovery provided undeniable evidence that the Nazis had hidden vast amounts of stolen wealth all over Europe. It also reignited speculation about other caches that might still be buried. If one mine could hold this much gold, what about the others that were never searched or were sealed before the Allies arrived? Treasure hunters and historians began to wonder how much more could still be out there, waiting to be found. Even today, the Merkers salt mine stands as one of the most extraordinary treasure finds in history. It showed that behind the legends of lost Nazi gold lay a terrifying truth. The riches were real, and their origins were soaked in suffering and greed. But if the mines could hold such vast fortunes, where else could the Nazis have hidden their remaining plunder? Some believe the answer lies not underground, but deep beneath the waters of Europe's lakes. Gold beneath the water. As strange as it sounds, not all Nazi treasure was hidden in tunnels or mines. Some of it, according to long-standing rumors, was dumped into lakes. The idea of gold resting quietly at the bottom of icy waters has fascinated explorers for decades. From Austria's Lake Toplitz to Italy's Lake Garda, divers have risked their lives trying to uncover what many believe are the final resting places of stolen Nazi riches. Lake Toplitz, nestled in the Austrian Alps, is perhaps the most famous of them all. Surrounded by thick forests and steep cliffs, it is deep, dark, and eerily quiet. During World War II, the lake was used by the Nazis for secret experiments. Locals often saw soldiers guarding the area, preventing anyone from getting close. After the war, rumors spread that trucks had arrived in the night, unloading heavy crates that were then pushed into the lake. Some said the crates contained gold bars and jewels. Others whispered about secret documents or stolen art. In the 1950s, divers finally decided to investigate. What they found was both shocking and disappointing. The lake did contain Nazi crates, but instead of gold, they were filled with counterfeit British pound notes. This was part of Operation Bernhard, a Nazi plan to flood the British economy with fake money. Though the find was historically significant, it wasn't the treasure hunters were hoping for. Still, the discovery only deepened the mystery. If the Nazis were willing to dump counterfeit currency, what else might they have hidden in those waters? Over the years, more searches followed. Some divers claimed to have seen metallic glints deep below, while others reported strange objects too heavy to recover. But because of the lake's dangerous conditions, extreme depths, thick tree trunks under the water, and sudden drops, no one has been able to fully explore it. Even with modern technology, much of Lake Toplitz remains unreachable. Similar stories surround other lakes. In Germany's Lake Walchen and Italy's Lake Garda, legends tell of Nazi officers throwing chests of gold and valuables into the water to prevent them from falling into Allied hands. There are even tales of witnesses seeing trucks drive into the lakes, never to re-emerge. Though many searches have been carried out, no confirmed Nazi gold has ever been recovered from these sites. For treasure hunters, these lakes hold both promise and danger. The deeper they dive, the more treacherous the conditions become. Yet the thought of discovering millions in lost gold continues to lure explorers back year after year. Historians also see the lakes as potential time capsules, preserving secrets of the final chaotic months of the war. The Curse of Rommel's Gold. Among the many stories of lost Nazi treasure, one stands apart: the legend of Rommel's gold. It is a mystery that begins not in Europe, but in the burning sands of North Africa during World War II. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, famously known as the Desert Fox, led German forces across Libya, Egypt, and Tunisia. His military brilliance earned him respect even among his enemies. But behind the battles, a darker tale unfolded. In 1943, as the Axis powers began to lose ground in North Africa, German forces reportedly seized massive amounts of gold, jewels, and valuables from Jewish families and banks on the Tunisian island of Djerba. The treasure, according to multiple accounts, was packed into wooden crates and loaded onto trucks under heavy SS guard. Its destination was Europe, specifically Nazi headquarters in Berlin. But the treasure never made it there. Somewhere between Tunisia and Germany, it vanished without a trace. The most popular version of the story claims that the treasure was shipped to Corsica aboard a German vessel. However, before it could reach its final destination, the ship was attacked by Allied forces and sunk off the Mediterranean coast. Some divers later claimed to have found parts of the wreck, but no trace of the gold. Another version suggests that Rommel ordered the treasure to be hidden somewhere on Corsica itself, possibly in one of its many caves or along its rugged coastline, to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. After the war, treasure hunters from across Europe arrived in Corsica, searching beaches, tunnels, and shipwrecks. They found nothing but whispers and rumors. Some claim that locals had secretly recovered the gold and melted it down. Others believe the treasure was still buried deep in the island's mountains. What makes the legend even more intriguing is that several expeditions ended mysteriously. Boats sank, equipment failed, and divers vanished. This led some to believe that Rommel's gold carried a curse, one that punished those who tried to claim it. Historians have debated the truth of the story for years. Some argue that there is no solid proof the treasure ever existed, while others point to wartime documents suggesting large transfers of gold from North Africa did take place. The fact that so much Nazi wealth disappeared in the final months of the war keeps the mystery alive. Modern technology has breathed new life into the search. Using advanced sonar and submersible drones, researchers have explored areas of the Mediterranean where German supply ships are known to have sunk. So far, they've uncovered weapons, vehicles, and aircraft parts, but no treasure. Still, each new expedition renews hope that Rommel's gold is out there, waiting to be found. The legend of Rommel's gold is more than just a story of lost riches. It is a symbol of how greed, power, and secrecy can stretch across generations. Every few years, another team sets out to chase the gold that vanished under Rommel's command. None have succeeded, but the search never stops. Could all these scattered mysteries, the map, the missing train, the tunnels, the mines, the lakes, and Rommel's lost fortune be connected? Perhaps the true story of the lost Nazi gold has yet to be uncovered, still buried deep beneath history's silence. What do you think? Could the truth behind the lost Nazi gold still be buried somewhere waiting to be uncovered? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you think the treasure might be hidden.